As the transmission of novel coronavirus increased rapidly, the whole world adopted the curfew or lockdown activities with restriction of human mobility. The impositions of quarantine stopped all the commercial activity that greatly affects the various important environmental parameters, which directly connected to human health. As on the types of social, economic, industrial, and urbanization activity suddenly shut up, nature takes the advantages and showed improvements in the quality of air, cleaner rivers, less noise pollution, undisturbed and calm wildlife. Surprisingly, the outcome of some research says that although coronavirus vaccine is not available now, however, the coronavirus itself is a vaccine and us humans are the virus. It is undoubtedly true that during lockdowns, Mother Earth earns a period of relaxations. With less human activities, the positive impacts on the environment are the improvement of water quality, while animals enjoy the freedom of a quieter world and a decrease in both sound and air pollution. So, we will show you evidence which prove the recovery of our environment. Improvement of air quality is one of the most significant changes to our life. The lockdown that was applied in the major industrial countries led to a decrease in the pollutants level and an increase in the ozone level in the air. This lockdown improved the air quality worldwide to a level that our political conference and agreements could not reach. Figures taken in nations worldwide has shown a downward trend in the amount of CO2 emissions and consumptions. As you can see from the graph, since COVID-19 broke out in 2019, CO2 emissions in Vietnam went down after years of exponential growth. A similar trend can be seen in our neighbor China. The figure for CO2 emissions did not decrease like in Vietnam, but the change in the slope of the graph indicates a slower growth rate. Meanwhile, the statistic for NO2 density in this nation underwent significant changes, as you can see from the pictures, shows comparisons of NO2 density in the year 2020. The improvement in CO2 emissions occurs in also different nations globally. For instance, this is the graph for the CO2 emissions in the USA, in Australia, and finally in South Africa. Apart from the cleaner air for humans to breathe, there are also two more aspects which we will need to take into consideration. Firstly, improved water quality. In Italy, for example, the quality of water channel has increased significantly as a result of the decline in tourism as well as the amount of traffic. Secondly, with a quieter world, animals like goats, deer, pigs has appeared more in public spaces since they were no longer disturbed by human activities. Despite all the positive signs, we must always remember that this kind of improvement happened to our environment is just temporary. Due to higher rates of vaccinations, many nations have entered a state of new normal. The return of human activities means once again our Mother Earth is put under constant stress. Not to mention, we also now have to face with the increasing amount of medical waste. However, with significant and positive changes, environmental improvement during lockdown has taught us that if we truly care about our world and take serious actions in protecting it, we can ensure a sustainable and a green future.
A virus that infected the whole world wouldn't just leave positive outcomes. Here are the negative effects caused by COVID-19 on our atmosphere. Various researchers from credible sources, such as the World Meteorological Organization, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, etc., all agree that the decrease in greenhouse gas emission during the pandemic is too weak, and it could even rise higher than ever before. As seen from this graph, there is an overall upward trend, even though the CO2 emission did drop in America and Asia, including Vietnam. it is insignificant. That 1% drop is not even enough to make it lower than just 3 years prior. The 11% decrease in America point in a positive direction. However, even more recent data in 2021 suggests that CO2 emissions is rebounding, reaching its previous state, possibly surpassing it. Take Europe as an example. It didn't even take a full year and the CO2 is already up by 2.7% in 2020. But how could this have happened? We were all locked inside during the pandemic. Well, it's because the activity that got cut off didn't have that kind of impact. The virus halted many jobs, especially transport. From the chart seen here, you can see transportation takes up nearly 30%. In detail, road and air are 23% and 2.4% respectively. So that means about 25% of CO2 is gone, right? Not exactly. Traffic didn't stop completely and countries only locked down for 3 to 5 months. After that, the economy is rushing to rise again, which diminished the positive effects. We all know how much harm CO2 and other greenhouse gases can cause. They are even more dangerous now due to the fact that COVID can attack our respiratory system. It can cause various diseases. Most have a cure, but smog accumulated over time can further increase the danger they pose. A person living in a polluted area most likely won't find out until it becomes a threat to their life. Based on this data gathered by the National Statistics of England, these are the top 20 diseases that are most common in COVID deaths. Among them, 3 diseases are related to respiratory and air pollution. They take up more than 1/3 of the recorded COVID deaths. In conclusion, it goes to show how deadly COVID and carbon dioxide can be when they team up. People have suffered loss of families, friends, and their livelihood. The absence of humans during the pandemic have somewhat let nature heal, but there was nowhere near enough time to reverse hundreds of years of industrialization. However, many have now realized the importance of keeping the earth safe and ensuring a green future.
Um, the content of this part will have two parts. The first one is self-introductions of team members, and the second one is team member work contribution. Now let's get into the first part. Our team have 3 members. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Oh, so okay. First, my name is Trần Yiman, and I am in charge of the part about the um, positive effects of COVID-19 on environment. So next, I will share my screen for some more detailed information about how I graph the statistic and how I prepare for my part. Okay, so you can see here's well. Let's turn to the work files. As you can see, here is the script of my part, and the on the as you can see on the left column is the dialogue, which I will like use, and on the right column is the image represent the content of my part. And next is the workplace which contains the image which I use, and also the link, the source of the web which contain the image, and the proof that the COVID-19 has positive effects on our environment. So next is the Matlab files which I use to graph the CO2 emissions in countries, and I use the data from the GitHub file, data CO2 and greenhouse gas emission. I just need to download the SLXS file, which means the Excel file. So I just need to like import it into my Matlab here, or into my Matlab. You can see. So wait a minute for it to open. It's kind of like a large spreadsheet. So as you can see, when it's finished loading, you can see like a graph, Excel file which contains layer. You see it, which contains all the information about the CO2 emissions, and the other for information like CO2 growth rates or CO2 consumption in countries and from the in recent years. So if you want to like extract information, you just need to click on the button import selections. So I have import uh, like a group of information script related to the CO2 emissions in the USA, and I have so and I name it use a doc mat, which is the Excel table which contain all the information about the CO2 emissions in the USA, and I just need to load it in my Matlab. And next I just need to like write some simple code which will wrap this data. So I will like run it for you to have a better view. So this is the result. These changes in the USA in terms of CO2 emissions each annually from 2015 to 2021. Yeah, and so next is the software, the web that I use to graph the NO2 density in China, where I use the web Giovanni by NASA Earth Data, which is like you can graph you can like make graph based on like um, different measurements, different atmospheric measurements. So the step to draw a graph is kind of simple. First, you just need to choose the type of graph you want to draw. Next is the time frame from which day to which day. Second is thirdly is the area, which area do you want to draw a graph. And so in this example, I choose China. And next, you just need to choose what measurement, what kind of measurement you want to show on your graph. So I choose atmospheric chemistry and to be more specific, the NO2 density. And and last but not least, you just need to choose the type of variable you want and just push the button plot data. And so to like simplify, I have like graph the data for you. And this is the result. As you can see, this is the NO2 density in China from the 12th of February to the 25th of February in 2020 in China. And this is the graph for in China like 1 month prior to the first graph. Yeah, and you can see clearly the changes in the CO2 in the NO2 density, which is like the effects of COVID-19. And so this is all my part. Next, my friend Lim will introduce about his part.
Right. Hi, my name is Yumalin, and I will also share my screen to show my behind the scene. Right. So the main tool that I use to creating charts and tables is Microsoft Excel. And the first thing I do is go up and search for the website of information that I need. Uh, these are some of the sites that I use. You see, there's a lot of information that you can read about. Also, there are also data tables or more text like site. Next, I will download the data files and then sort the data that I want to show on the graph. Next up, I will chart out that data using Microsoft Excel. For the writing script, I also use Word. Uh, this is a script that I made. No. And this is the link that I use to research. That is all for my part.
Okay, thank you, Lim. And the last part is about create a video. And my name is Nguyễn Đình Bách, and I'm the editor of the video. And in the next part, I will show you the clip which demonstrate the process of editing video, which I use time lapse to record that. And that's all for our behind the scene. Thank you very much. So I stop recording right here.